You've read the story of Jesse James, of how he lived and died. If you're still in need of something to read, here's the story of Bonnie and Clyde.
Winston and Donna rolling with the halls. Today we're talking about Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow, America's most wanted outlaw couple, were ambushed in a hail of gunfire.
That's right, on the morning of May 23rd, 1934, the most infamous crime spree in American history came to a sudden and violent end right here on this stretch of Highway 154 just outside of Gibsland, Louisiana.
They were possibly the most romanticized outlaws of all time, but their crimes were horrific, and they murdered 13 people, including 9 officers of the law.
But the story of Bonnie and Clyde's dramatic final days and how their story ended right here actually starts a little bit earlier and an hour away in downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. It's mid-May 1934. Bonnie and Clyde have been on the run for almost 2 years. They're laying low right here in northwest Louisiana, staying on back roads and safe houses around Shreveport, trying to hide from law enforcement. But they're being watched. A group of 6 lawmen, led by famed Texas Ranger Frank Hamer, have been tracking their every move. The lawmen suspected Clyde would try to visit the family of one of their gang members, Henry Medvin, over in Bienville Parish. Now, they were right. By late May of 1934, the Bonnie and Clyde saga was reaching its final days. They stopped for a meal here at this cafe, then called the Majestic Cafe, at 422 Milam Street in downtown Shreveport.
Bonnie, Clyde, and Henry Medvin went to this cafe to pick up some food. Henry went in, and while he was inside, Clyde got spooked by something outside. So he and Bonnie drove off and circled around. When they came back an hour later, Henry was gone. They assumed that Henry had made his way to Bienville Parish to his parents' house where they would meet up later. They would never see Henry Medvin again. Bonnie and Clyde then started their trek towards Gibsland. On the morning of May 23rd, Bonnie and Clyde made one last stop at Ma Canfield's Cafe here in Gibsland, Louisiana, which is now the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum.
Clyde went inside, ordered a bologna sandwich for him and a BLT for Bonnie. Everything seemed ordinary, but within the hour, the 2 most famous outlaws in America would be dead.
This museum is filled with haunting details, personal letters, photos, and artifacts that capture the public's fascination with Bonnie and Clyde.
You'll even find a replica of their car riddled with bullet holes. Okay, Bonnie. You got the BLT?
Yeah. So this is the Last Stop Cafe. It's right next to the Ambush Museum, and we have heard from Perry Carver, who's the owner, that the last meal that they ordered to go was Clyde got a fried bologna sandwich and he got a BLT for Bonnie. So I'm having the BLT and Winston's gonna try the fried bologna sandwich. So.
And then we're gonna go get ambushed.
Oh. Yeah.
Don't eat the toothpick. Good? Alright, my turn. Fried bologna.
Fried bologna. How is it?
Very good.
Looks good.
Really good, actually.
And by the way, in the restaurant, all Bonnie and Clyde memorabilia. These people fully commit. I love it.
Standing here where Bonnie and Clyde had their last meal, you can kind of feel the tension in the air. This was a 2-year manhunt, and it was coming to an end, and it was going to end violently and dramatically. This, right here, this place, was the calm before the storm. Just a few miles down the road from the cafe, Clyde slowed the car to check on a broken down truck, which was actually a trap set by Frank Hamer and the other law enforcement officials.
When Clyde slowed down and he was recognized by the police, the officers opened fire. Over 130 bullets were fired in less than 20 seconds. It was over.
Bonnie and Clyde never saw it coming. "91 years ago this week, the story of this infamous outlaw couple and the lawmen that pursued them still echo through American history."
Nearly a century later, Bonnie and Clyde remain folk legends, romanticized, reviled, remembered.
If you ever find yourself in Gibsland, Louisiana, visit the museum,
Walk the road.
and stand in history's footsteps. But never forget the atrocities Bonnie and Clyde committed.
Never forget the families and loved ones left to grieve because of those crimes.
In the end, they paid for their crimes together.